What is going on out there, peeps? All right, we needed to do an update today on the Iraqi dinar. Actually, this is news on the actual dinar itself. So, before we get into this, once again, I told you guys that we can't get overly excited about good news and we can't get overly bummed out about bad news, okay? That's because, once again, we get some information that I'm about to share with you. I just don't want it to change your emotions too much, okay? If you guys are considering buying precious metals, please give a consideration to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. And right now you should be. There's a lot going on and a lot of indicators that something big is going to happen in October. The link is in the description. If you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. If you already got your free half ounce, you can only get it once. Over here we got Pimpy's investment chat, the same name as the YouTube channel. We do talk about investment opportunities, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. No politics. Bring the politics for over here, which is the hidden things in front of your eyes. You could talk about QAnon, politics, current events, NESARA, GESARA, 9/11, false flag events, the whole 9 yards. Just be respectful of one another. If you don't have Facebook, come join me over here on Twitter. The link is in the description. We could chat over here as well. So what this is right here is if you want to kind of see what the rate is, you can kind of do the IQD versus USD or USD versus IQD. Right now for $1 American, you can get 1,190 Iraqi dinars. That's what the current rate is. So how this works is this. See right here where it says $1,190. If that number increases, that means the value of the dinar is going down. That's not good. Or increases, is going down. If it decreases, that means because it's against the US dollar. So if that number decreases, that means the value of the dinar is rising against the US dollar. For us who are buying or invested into the IQD, we want to see that number decrease. Do you see what I'm saying? So once again, if that number increases, in other words, instead of for $1 US, I get 1,190 dinars, if it somehow increases and all of a sudden for $1 US, I now get 2,000 Iraqi dinars. That's not good. That's not good for us. An increase in the amount of dinars you get in exchange for US dollar is bad. So that means we want it to decrease. So in other words, instead of the $1,190 for $1, all of a sudden it drops down to, I'm just using this as a round number, all of a sudden you get only 1,500 dinars. That's good. That's a change in the rate. Something happened to the exchange rate. The dinar had increased in value. So the exchange rate has decreased. A lot of people get this mixed up. I just want to make sure that you understand that. So most of us have bought the Iraqi dinar at this rate here. 1,190 Iraqi dinars for $1 US. Any kind of decrease in this section right here is a monetary gain for us. That's good. That's what we want. Do you understand that? All right. So here we go. A lot of people were sending me this article and I was kind of blowing it off. So I'm going to give some credit. Michael McCann hit me up on Twitter. He said, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "I seen people send it to me, but I just was so busy." And then I went ahead and went back into the article and read it. So I want to give a shout out to Mike for making sure that I did go check this article out, because here it goes. September 27th, which is today, concerning the currency, salaries, and commodities price, okay? 10 economic measures and radical financial change that Iraq is expected to implement next year. That's 2021. Here we go. Today, Sunday, the economic and oil export, Marsumui, I don't know how to pronounce that, revealed reforms to the International Monetary Fund that Iraq is expected to implement, some of them during the next year, 2021. What he said in his blog post today, yes, Iraq, asking, will Iraq implement the reforms of the International Monetary Fund? Noting that the package of economic reforms adopted by the IMF, which Iraq is expected to implement, some of them in 2021, consist of the following: decreasing the national currency exchange rate. Yeah, I know, we're all doing the Pimpy dance. Slow down, though. This is part of what they're, it's part of the reforms. So again, so there's no misunderstanding. It says decreasing the rate. That would be a decrease in this number, which would be an increase in our investment. Raising the interest rates and setting credit ceilings. Gradual reduction of government support for government goods and services. Reducing public spending on goods and services. Reducing the salary clause and limiting appointments of graduates in government institutions. Restructuring and privatizing the losing public sector enterprises. Reducing the transfer of expenditures, items of social nature, especially with regards to subsidizing the price of essential commodities. Raising energy prices to the level of international prices. Rising the tax rate, increasing their proceeds, recognizing them, creating other tax vessels, or imposing direct tax or policies for indirect taxes, as well as increasing the base of taxpayers, limiting tax exemptions, developing collection methods, and combating tax evasions. And the 10th item is liberation of all prices in trade, liberalization. So, obviously what everybody's going to be focusing on is this first one right here. A decrease in the rate change. Yes, that's good news. It is exactly that. Decreasing the rate change. If they're decreasing the rate change, obviously for those, again, who are holding on to the Iraqi Dinar, that means your investment is gaining a little bit or however much in value. Now, what I'm hesitant about this particular article is for those of you who are newbies. When the IMF, when the Paris Agreement came and a lot of Iraq's debt was to be forgiven, but there was agreement, and the agreement was that the Iraqi government with the CBI bank would listen to and implement policies and procedures that were given to them by the IMF. That was the deal. Before they agreed to it, Dr. Shabibi did not like it. His review of the policy said it was great. It was great at reducing and lowering inflation, but it was bad because the rate change was so low that it did not allow Iraq to rebuild and strengthen their economy. He wanted to walk away from the deal. Nonetheless, he was convinced to come back, and he started implementing policies and procedures put there by the IMF as well as in consultation with the World Bank. That's what had happened. So again, here we go. It's the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. This is their reforms. They're talking about decreasing the national rate. Here's the part that I say we need to slow down, even though this is good news. We don't know how much that rate is. Considering it's the IMF, I'm always hesitant. Of course, any decrease is good. But if they went from giving us 1,190 Iraqi dinars to all of a sudden giving us 1,700 dinars, sure, all you guys would be like, yay, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just a slight increase. Any increase is better than no increase in our value, okay? We want to see the decrease in the exchange rate. We want to see that number get lower over here. The lower this number, the better. Okay? I wanted to share this article, but I was concerned about how I wanted to word this because I don't want people to get overly excited when we see good news or get overly down when we see bad news. So there you have it. This is what they want implemented in 2021. That's the International Monetary Fund. I'm not sure if the reform papers that the finance ministry is submitting to the Iraq parliamentary, or right now the cabinet is looking over, I'm not sure if their talks about the exchange rate are in line with what the IMF is. In other words, I'm wondering if the reform papers are dealing with the rate change that the IMF is putting forward, or if it's something separate altogether. Nonetheless, I told you guys there's a lot of things coming up here in a short period of time. My thought was that whatever the rate change was going to be, it was going to be there for the budget years of 2021, 22, and 23 is what I think they're trying for all 3 years. We're going to find out real soon, that's for sure. Anyways, I just wanted to share this update with you real quick. Once again, I want to give a shout out to Mike. Mike, I really appreciate this. And I was able to bring in, I will leave a link to this description so you guys can come see for yourself. Again, I don't want us to get overly emotional one way or another, but just bring awareness to you that the talk of decreasing the rate is here. All right, you guys? So yeah, it looks good. So if you liked the video, and you should for this particular one, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.